Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Veronica, aka Little Miss Skin Expert. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I created today's spring look using the new Sweet Talk palette by Colourpop. So without further ado, let's get started. He said don't forget to like and subscribe. So recently I picked up the Sweet Talk palette by Colourpop, which is so beautiful. Let's just show you guys what this palette looks like. I love the holographic kind of packaging that they decided to go with. It is also closure magnetic, so that's really nice because then you don't have to worry about any of this stuff falling out. Say hi. Hi. I thought doing a tutorial doing a spring look is appropriate, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first shade in the palette that I'm going to use is this shade called Feel Free. So it is a dark shade. I'm going to kind of work this backwards. So it looks like this, and what I'm going to do is just go ahead and start working this into the crease. I kind of just I'm not really too sure where I'm going to go with this, but hopefully everything works out, right? I just wanted to lay the darkest shade first onto the lid because I kind of like the effect that it gives when you do the darkest shade first and then diffuse it out. So that's the plan. The second shade in the palette that I'm going to go in with is this shade called Meadow. There's actually these two shades right here, Dreammaker and Meadow, are very, very similar, but just one's a little bit more leans more towards the brown, more so peachy brown. So that was actually the shade Dreammaker. Let's go ahead and use Dreammaker. That was the lighter one. And I'm just going to kind of lightly go ahead and help diffuse the shade Feel Free. So it's looking like that. So far so good. These are blending really nicely. I went ahead and I cut the crease, and I'm using the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer to do that. Go ahead and use this shade called Garden Date, and this is so beautiful. So it looks like that, but it has like a really nice like gold reflect to it, so it's like more duochrome-y. Love it. So I'm just initially using my finger to tap it into the concealer before I go in with a brush to perfect it. This technique always just works for me. I'm going to add this shade called ICYMI. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm just going to add it here to the shadow to give it more of a gradient effect. This has more of an orangey like shade like that, or it's more of a terracotta-y orangey shade. I'm gonna go ahead and go back in with the shade Feel Free, and now it's just a matter of just perfecting things and making things kind of get blended through. Like that. Anyways, I went ahead and I added the Too Faced glitter glue, and then I used my finger and added the Prima Drama glitter. Be very careful when pressing your finger into the palette because you don't want to ruin that, because it is gorgeous. It's so cool. Like that. Using a glitter, understand you will have all that glitter fall onto your face, so I would highly recommend that you you do your eyeshadow first before going in and doing your face makeup, just because you don't want all that glitter in your foundation. I'm just kind of just cleaning that up. It's all over me. Whoops. And then use the Hangover primer that I've cut open now because it is like at the bottom and I had to get it. I love that stuff. It works really well. It hydrates the skin. So for those of you who are on the slightly dry, slightly oily side, it is a great primer. You can even use it as a face mask. So I'm using 1 pump of the Born This Way foundation. Alright, so now it's time for concealer. I'm just kind of hiding some of my blemishes. I'm not going to go too heavy with the concealer because it does, it will spread over to this area of my eye, so there's no need to like pack on too much, I don't think. But I do think it is helpful to highlight the center of your face. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder. And I'm just going to grab the JS2 brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and just tap it into the skin to help set everything down. Nothing too fancy, you know. We're not really using it for coverage. We're using it basically just to set everything down so nothing is left tacky. So I'm going to actually give these a shot. These are the Colourpop's Super Shock Cheek blushes, and I got the shade Growth Flirt and Get Laid. Now, so Get Laid leans more on the corally, orangey side, whereas this one's a little bit more berry. So I think for this look, I'm going to go ahead and try Growth Flirt. I think it's a pretty nice everyday wearable blush, so let's try this. Go in with my bronzer after. Okay, so I'm going to use the Morphe M536 brush. Okay, so there's some product on there. And I'm just going to interesting. I'm afraid to go over this over the powder because I didn't know if it was going to be streaky and skippy, but so far so good. So I would recommend using a brush if you're going to use these with better synthetic hair instead of natural hair to apply it. That is good. I like this. Very cool. I'm going to go ahead and use the JS3 brush, and I'm just going to add some bronzer. I can't live without bronzer. And I'm just going to use it to contour. I'm using the Chocolate Soleil Matte Bronzer by Too Faced. Just kind of warms up the complexion.
Looks cool for your makeup.
Yeah?
Your makeup is good.
We're getting there. This is not part of the collection, but it is a Colourpop product. This is the Super Shock Cheek highlighter in the shade Lunch Money. So I've only used it once, so it's been a long time actually. And what is suggested is to apply it using your fingers. And so I'm going to do that and just kind of apply it in this upper area of my cheek. See that? So if you want to intensify it even more, then you'll just do it again. So just depending on how dramatic you want this. This could be a very blinding. This is the shade Lunch Money. This could be very blinding if you want it to be. I do recall that. Go ahead and also add it to my Cupid's bow to highlight. And then I'm going to add it to my nose, just down. And I think I'm going to add it up here on my eyebrow bone here. Look at that. I mean, it is so cool. This formula is like wet and it's like kind of cool, but it's not like mentholy kind of cool because I don't use that. Very cool. Let's go ahead and finish up the eye. So I am going to use this shade called Side to Side. So this is one of their Super Shock shadows. So when you press into this, be very gentle with it, and you know, understand that it's like almost like a cream kind of texture. And I'm going to use this for my inner corner to kind of help highlight the inner corner of my eye. Okay, so I added the shade Feel Free to my lower lash line, and I did go in and attach it to the upper part of the shadow look, so that way everything is just together and it's all like connected. And I did kind of go a little low. Using the same shade, I'm going to use a flat definer brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just start using this as a liner for the top lash line. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm also going to flick. I should have done this before I did my foundation a while. So it's giving me like a liner, because I'm not going to go in with liner today. Like that. Or Jeffree Star's brush is really awesome. It flicked all that off for me. Before I go in with my mascara, I want to go ahead and set my face. So I'm going to use the Hangover Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray by Too Faced. And this is just going to help prevent anything from creasing, lock everything in. You know, I want this to stay. You know, this is a different formula for me, so I want to make sure I can really just shellac it out. Okay, I do have a fan. I just want to smush this into the face because I want to make sure it stays. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and blend the lower lash line. I'm going to use the shade Dream Maker. So it's that pinky peachy shade. I'm going to go in with the Infallible Longwear eye pencil by Loreal in the shade Nude. And I'm going to go ahead and just, I wish I had like, line the waterline. Just say that you went too heavy on the blush and you weren't happy with that. So one thing that you can do is get a very fluffy brush like this, add a little bit of translucent powder, and just kind of buff it into the skin to help really just diffuse the blush. I'm just doing it just to help kind of set that down. Mascara today, I'm going to go in with the Climax mascara by NARS. I haven't been using this, so I need to. Really want to coat them. Since I'm not going in with lashes, I want to coat these pretty nicely, heavily. I'm like the biggest fan of the inner corner there. I felt like that shade just wasn't bright enough on me, so I'm going to go in using my finger with the shade Lunch Money, and I'm going to highlight my inner corner with that. All right, so I picked up two of the Luxe Creme lipsticks. I picked up the shade You're Thriving and Tea Time. Not sure which one I'm going to go in with. Let me just take a look here. Put them back in their box because their box is so cute. The packaging is so cute. The graphic designer that helped create the packaging, her name is Madison. I do follow her on my Instagram. Very cute, very creative. Okay, so this is the shade Tea Time. And then this is the shade You're Thriving. What? Look at Mommy's arm. Which color do you like better?
This one.
He likes the brighter one. Let's do it. Okay, we'll do the brighter one. Exactly have a lip liner, so I'm just gonna...
Uh-oh. Oh no.
I know, I saw it. I have low battery. Oh, crap. Say hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Mario.
Let me know in the the comments below if you guys are picking up this palette. Did you guys like any of the other products? Any of the Super Shock blushes or the lipsticks? Let me know in the comments below. I really enjoyed using the palette. You know, my thoughts on it. You know, I didn't like the Super Shock pressed in the palette. I wished it was a little bit more pigmented because it is a beautiful champagne-y shade. So I think I'll try to use it in a different way instead of like an inner corner highlight. But other than that, of course, Colourpop never disappoints with their matte shades. I did like the touch of having like a pressed glitter in the palette. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video.
Goodbye.
And we'll see you in the next one. See ya.